Hey there everybody, it's Matt with Max Video, and today we are doing a subscriber recommended video. This is going to be a series of videos actually, and this is my top 5 favorites. We're going to be covering a large amount of topics on this particular series. Today we're going to be starting with top 5 video games. Then we're going to be doing top 5 animes, which I am not looking forward to because I am struggling to just narrow that down to 5. Top 5 manga slash light novels, top 5 movies, and top 5 non-animated television shows. And I might do some other things like top 5 YouTubers and top 5 artists and whatnot like that. Like I said, this is a developing series, so we'll see what happens as we go along. But yeah, today we're doing top 5 video games. As a, you know, this is kind of a way to, address myself and, kind of let you know a bit more, behind the scenes things about who I am as a person and the things that I enjoy. Um, the games that I am going to be putting in this list may not be the best games story wise or gameplay wise. These are games that I enjoyed personally, whether it be nostalgia value or things that I just enjoyed playing or things that I just sunk a lot of time into, and I got a lot of value out of them because of that. And some of them have personal reasons, such as something I played with friends and things like that. Now this was another one that I had a struggle narrowing it down to 5 because there's a lot of games that I've played throughout my life as a gamer that just meant a lot to me and had a lot of personal value to them. So, number 5 is Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, I say Kingdom Hearts 1 out of the series because Kingdom Hearts 1 was the first game I played on the PlayStation 2. I got the PlayStation 2 for Christmas, and it came with my parents got the Kingdom Hearts 1 game for me. This is right when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out. And the reason that I enjoyed this game so much, and you can tell from what the story I'm about to tell, is when they got me the PS2, they did not get me a memory card. So I played the first 3 hours of this game about 7 times before I eventually got a memory card. And you would think, that'd get boring because, the opening levels of Kingdom Hearts 1 are a bit slow and tedious. But I just loved the game so much. It was, at the time, the graphics were phenomenal, and it was a completely different gameplay than I'd ever, played before. Um, like I said, I loved, that opening level of Destiny Island. Just exploring the island, it was a blast for me. I mean, because this is a time in the gaming world where open world was not overly prevalent unless you played some MMOs like WoW and whatnot. So this was my first real dive into, a real open world environment like that, where everything was stunning and beautiful and the graphics were, phenomenal for the time. So yeah, I loved the game, and I highly recommend if you've never played the Kingdom Hearts series. It's a convoluted story. I have many things to say about the series in general, but it's just an experience to play this game. And I planned on doing a Kingdom Hearts 3 review, but it's just kind of oversaturated right now in the YouTube scene that I felt like it would just kind of get lost in the flow. Um, but yeah, overall though, I think the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole is fantastic. If you like, something that you can dive into and lore heavy, you got to really dig to get everything, and I just enjoy that as a concept. Yeah, so that's number 5. Number 4 is Modern Warfare 2. Now the Modern Warfare series as a whole, kind of gets a lot of flack. It's just a shooter. All these sweaties play it, and it's the whole argument between Modern Warfare and Battlefield. It's a big thing. But the reason I loved Modern Warfare 2 so much was this was my first real dive into online play. This game came out when I was in high school, um, and me and my best friend Hayden played this game religiously. Like every day after school, we'd come home, forget about homework, and I would head straight to his house, and we would just play this game. We would just take turns. When you die, I'll play. When I die, you'll play, and we would do this for hours until the sun set, and his parents made me go home. And like I said, this game it's nothing stellar gameplay wise. It's just a online shooter. It's nothing revolutionary. There've been many games like this before, and it was just something that I really loved. And I'm going to add another one to this number four slot because I loved it for the same reason. And it was Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. So the Left 4 Dead series as a whole, really. And it was the exact same reason. Me and Hayden and my friends Connor and Cameron, we would just religiously play this game. And it was, Left 4 Dead is another series of there's no story, there's no overarching, lore to it. It's just a zombie shooting game. It is merely that. There's nothing deep to it. It's just a fun game to play with friends. And we would just, the summer that, we started playing this game, that's all we did that summer was just get together and play Left 4 Dead. It was, just stupid fun with friends. And I love those games for that reason of it brought us together, our friendship. We can tell stories of us playing this game forever. We have so many memorable moments within the game, and it's just phenomenal what this simple game could do. Both of these games, they're not complex. Like I've said that several times already. They're not in-depth games. Modern Warfare, you got a skill building, thing where, you could become really good and become competitive at it. And me and Hayden became, proficient at it in a non-competitive sense that, we were usually the top, ranking person in each match. We had our own play styles. It was that first time that I really got into, building a play style. That's something I never thought about, until I did this. So, this is the kind of style I like to play. He had his weapon set and I had mine. And every time we died and switched, gave the control to the other one, we'd switch to our own play style. And I just loved those games for that. It built me as a gamer. It built our friendships. And it was just phenomenal. So, yeah, number 3. This is another difficult one that I thought long and hard about, and it was, I'm going to put World of Warcraft here. World of Warcraft was the first MMO I ever played. I came in during Mists of Pandaria, however you want to say it, and a lot of people gave it flack at that time for saying this was the worst expansion. You had a lot to look forward to with Warlords, didn't you? But it was, I never... For the longest time, I always said I would never play this game. I've seen this game destroy people. I've seen this destroy relationships. I've seen people destroy their school lives, their grades. I've seen it just demolish people. And so I was like, I'll never get into that. I'll never get into this game. But that changed totally when I actually got into it. And I sank hours and hours and hours into this game. And I enjoyed every minute of it. Me as a gamer, I love tedium in a game. I love the grind of a game. And I'm not even looking for grind of, I need this gear. I'm in this for tedious grind. Like, I did dailies in this game, but I'm like, man, I really want that mount. How long did you say the grind for that mount was? I gotta get this much? How long is that gonna take me? It gotta take me a month? I'm in. Like, I loved, just the grind of that game. I was never a big raider or, I never got, big into stats or anything. I couldn't tell you how to build a character. It was just a fun game to sink into. You could build the character how you wanted. I played a troll druid, guardian druid, and me and Hayden and Cameron and the guild we were in, we would just have stupid fun doing dungeons and just doing world events. And I would raid, but it wasn't that for me. It wasn't I'm not a competitive gamer as a rule. You know, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. You know, the whole battle royale thing. I'm not in this to win it. I'm in it just to have fun. And that was that game for me. It was, you know, I could get in there and I could fish for 5 hours if I so chose, and I did many a time. And I've played other MMOs, like Guild Wars 2. I remember this was right after I had a bad wreck in my car. I totaled my car and I was kind of laid up for a while. And Hayden got me this game as a birthday present. And I remember since I was kind of laid up in my dorm room for, you know, about a week, I just played this game. And, you know, I ended up, you know, maxing out Jewel Crafting in like 2 days. He got back on after, you know, working a 2 day shift. And he was like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "How can I say? I like the grind." So that was that game for me. WoW was an experience. I don't play it anymore, and I don't plan to ever play it again. It's just one of those things where it kind of lost its, you know, appeal to me after a while. Not saying it's a bad game. I mean, this is still a game that you could jump in right now and have a blast. I mean, it caters to any play style you choose. If you just want to be a casual gamer, you can get on there and just casually game. If you want to be a hardcore, I raid. I get on and I raid. Why do I raid? So I can get the gear to raid. If you play that, then go ahead. Um, that's the appeal of WoW to me. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 2 is going to Destiny 1. I have many things to say about Destiny 2, and I've tried many a time to actually record a review of Destiny 2, and it just never panned out. But Destiny 1 was that game that I was living in Texas, and this is right when the Taken King expansion came out, is when I started playing. And I got on, and this was just an experience for me. It took the two things that I liked at that moment, FPSs and MMOs, and they mixed it together in such a fantastic way. And the fan base built that game so fantastically. The developers really took what the fans wanted and they did their best to give it to them. And because I played on a, you know, it was a PlayStation game, and I played it on PlayStation continuously. Like, I was unemployed for a while there, and that's just what I did. You know, again, it was a game I played with my, you know, buddy Hayden and his brother Cameron, and we just sank hours into it, just doing, you know, Vanguard missions, and we raided extensively in that game. That was the one game that I enjoyed raiding. You know, I didn't enjoy raiding in Destiny 2 because it just seemed tedious, but in Destiny 1 it was just a fun experience. The raid party we had, we just enjoyed, you know, playing together. It wasn't, if we wiped a raid encounter, we didn't throw a fit about it. You know, we're like, yeah, that's funny, let's try it again. And we would just jump in and do it again. It was harmless fun, is all this game was for me. And, you know, we have so many memories of that. And I remember just, you know, I would play it solo a lot too, just, you know, doing Crucible. That was the first time that I really enjoyed PvP. I don't like PvP usually, you know, and WoW I didn't like PvP, and most other games I'm not a big PvP person, but this is the game that kind of brought back that Modern Warfare feel to me. This is a competitive player versus player environment that I got into. I mean, and that never transferred to Destiny 2. I mean, I play the PvP still in Destiny 2. I don't do any missions. I don't raid in Destiny 2, but I'll get on and just Crucible. And that was that game for me. You know, I've got a weapon set that I enjoyed, and I did well in Crucible. I mean, I wasn't like top rank or anything, but I did well, and I had fun doing it. It wasn't, you know, and I'm not a rage gamer of, if I die in a PvP environment, I don't throw a fit about it. You know, I'm just like, oh, good job, you killed me. But this game was just prolific for me, and when Destiny 2 came out, I was hoping so bad that it would kind of, you know, refuel that joy I had for Destiny 1, and it missed the mark there. I mean, it's not a bad game. I mean, it has its bad aspects, but any game does. I mean, you could say a lot of bad things about Destiny 1, but Destiny 1 just had so many fun things for me. I mean, I remember grinding for the swords in Destiny 1, because in Destiny 1, it was a tedious mission to get a sword. In Destiny 2, you just swords fling out of everywhere. In Destiny 1, you had to work for a sword. And I just remember, just grinding that and just, having music playing in the background and just sinking into it. And it didn't seem like it took a lot of time, even though it did. And that's the joy of gaming to me is, this is a way to kind of get away from it all, to kind of break away from the tedious life that you live and just go into a different world and just enjoy it. And that was Destiny 1 for me. That's probably the game I sank the most time into, like, just doing nothing, really. You got the sword missions, the Touch of Malice missions, all these different things. And that was what I loved about it. And finally, the number one, and this is, one that you're like, why is that your number one? But it's Jak and Daxter series. Now, you got the two camps of these, PS2 era, PS1 era games of, you have Ratchet and Clank, and you have Jak and Daxter. And I just happened to play Jak and Daxter. I'm sure if I played Ratchet and Clank, I'd be putting that as the top. But when Jak and Daxter came out, this was, middle school, high school for me. And, this is the beginning of, I'm developing as a person. I'm developing my own personality. And I remember just coming home from school and doing my homework and, just sitting down in my room and just flipping on my, tiny, 12-inch screen and just flipping the PlayStation on, just gaming away. And this is also the game when Hurricane Katrina hit. Like I said, I live in South Mississippi. So it hit us hard. Like, it destroyed this area. You don't see that a lot on the news. New Orleans kind of got, most of the media coverage, but South Mississippi was just kind of wiped off the map with this hurricane hit. And luckily, where I lived far enough inland that we didn't get as much destruction, but we were without power for weeks, and this was kind of my escape, My dad would run the generator for a certain amount of hours a day, and this was my time that I just turned that on and I escaped the things around me. And this was my escape from all that, disaster that was around us. And, I volunteered, with the Red Cross and the local religious organization to help, clean up the coastline and, help people kind of wipe everything clean and start over again. And so after seeing all that bad, this was my escape. This was the game that I just sat down and I enjoyed playing. It was just, something special for me. And I played Jak and Daxter, I played Jak 2 at least 20 times through all the way. This was my first encounter with speedrunning. And I didn't even know speedrunning was a thing. This was just a thing I was like, I wonder how fast I could beat this game. That was just how fun I had. It wasn't, it's a linear story. There's no big open world experience with Jak 2. It's just a linear story that you just play through and there you go. Have a good day. But it was just a special thing for me. And when it came out on a PS4, the remastered edition, I played it through again and, I could see how bad it aged, really, the whole series as a whole. And, I played it through once and, that was it for me on that. But just looking back on what that game meant to me, it's hard to say that any game has ever topped that. So yeah. So that's my top 5 video games. And like I said, there's a lot that should be on this list. And some honorable mentions are Borderlands, Fortnite, Overwatch, a lot of Blizzard games, and just all these, indie games that I played on Steam that I found, Killing Floor, Evolve. All these games hold special places to me, but the 5 that I mentioned today are the 5 that really stick out in my mind. That, when I think of games that I thoroughly enjoyed, these are the 5 I think about. Well, 6 technically if you include the Left 4 Dead Modern Warfare 2 mashup I did there, but nah. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to try to kind of make one of these every other day. I'm going to try to. The next one I'm probably going to do is top 5 anime. And bear that, because I've changed my mind about 17 times writing the script for that. Writing down, okay, what's the 5 anime I really like, and I might end up having to break that series down into sub episodes, like top 5 slice of life, top 5 shonen, top 5 this. Who knows? Because that is, as you can see on the channel, I love anime. But yeah, so a lot of changes are going on in my life right now, so I'm going to try to do that every other day. As you can see in the back, I bought a couch. I'm about to be moving to an apartment. It's also why the curtain's gone, because I kind of broke that in the moving process. So ignore the fridge. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. As always, I love each and every one of you so very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.